Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie, with a cup of tea. And today I've got my teacher's mug that one of my students had done for me. Got my name on it, and they spelt it right, because people normally spell my name with a Y, but it's Vicky with an I. Anyway, good morning if you're, well, I'm in Spain. It's good morning in Spain, good evening in other parts of the world, good afternoon in other parts of the world. And I'm just on to give you, well, they're not exactly updates, are we? They're still, as far as the Samantha Murphy case is concerned, the police are still quiet. It's been over a week now since they released anything official. So it's time to light. I'm on a new candle now. The other candle that I'm burning all the time that I'm here, obviously I blow it out before I go to bed or if I go out or whatever, but got a candle burning. Hopefully there's still this outside chance that Samantha might be found, safe and well if she's been kidnapped. But also the candle is for little Cielo, who is being searched for in the river in Leicester in the UK. Also that the killer of Rachel Marin is caught, and also that Anna Knezovic, who's gone missing from Madrid, is found safe and well. That's another sort of, doesn't look very hopeful, but we have to hope for the best case. And not only that, for all missing people, there's missing people all over the world, and some get attention and some don't. So yeah, as I say, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much to anyone who has subscribed to my channel, who watches my video, who likes my videos. My new saying is, don't forget to leave your fingerprint on the like button, which is given to me by one of my members. So thank you, because my channel is growing. I'm very grateful for that, and I hope I can just bring information. I do concentrate on missing people, especially women, but not exclusively women, but and true crime in general. But every now and again I talk about something completely different. So I think my channel hopefully is quite eclectic. It's not a one-dimensional channel. But at the moment, when I get when a theme is going on, a story, we call it a story, but of course these are real people, real lives. Like in the Samantha Murphy case, I will not let go of this until one way or another this is resolved, and Samantha's children are put out of the misery that they must be going through at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to say hello to everybody first. Oh, I can see you've been chatting. Hi, Alana. Yeah, so it's a good time, I think, to do these lives about Samantha in the mornings, because then I can see if there's been any information over the daytime in Australia. And also, then now I believe it's evening time, isn't it, in Australia? So people in Australia can watch. Also, I'm quite bright in the morning. I'm always a little bit brighter in the morning than I am maybe in the evening. I'm a bit of a morning person. But every morning I get up and I have a look and see what's the news, and rarely there is any. But then, of course, we have the mainstream media who are filling in the gaps for us. So they, for blaming social media for clickbait, but I get, my information from them. So there's nothing that I don't report. I'm not there on the ground to do my own investigating. So I have to rely on them. So anything they want to complain to me about, they can blame it on themselves. Okay. Hi, Alana. Good evening. Hi, Simon. Oh, thank you. That's nice. Nice that you're happy about me coming on. Yeah, there's a lot of, I talked about this yesterday. There's a lot of, and I have a lot of respect for psychics and tarot card readings. They all have their value, but of course we can't take them as verbatim. You know, some people are more gifted than others. And as you say, Simon, sometimes you don't need tarot cards to, you know, tarot cards are an instrument. You know, they are not like, they're a way of channeling probably what your intuition is telling you anyway. So it's not so much the cards telling you, it's your intuition picking the cards. Oh, I'm glad you've got a nice day, nice weather there. It's lovely here today in Spain. I'm going for a walk later with my friends and the dogs. I'm really looking forward to that because sometimes I spend too much time in the house on the computer. So it'd be nice to get out and get some sunshine. You know, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just... Hi, Wendy. Oh, Wendy. Very early morning one this morning. Very early for you over in the UK. I hope are you completely recovered now? Hopefully. Now, so the couple of things that came to my attention this morning. There's a couple of newspaper articles. Hello, Susan. Don't hold back. It's peeing down in the UK. It's beautiful. You know, I'm sorry, but it's really lovely weather here today. Like, not, you know, it's not going to be too hot. So in the springtime in Spain, that's the best time to visit. Springtime or autumn, when it's lovely and sunny, nice, comfortable temperatures, but not too hot. I would not recommend Spain in July and August. Okay, so yeah, a couple of things that caught my attention this morning, and something that caught my attention overnight, because, you know, I tend to wake up at least once in the night, and I not always check my phone for news of Samantha, because of course I know that that's daytime in Australia. And something caught my attention on the Facebook pages, you know, the Find Samantha Facebook pages, and I'm glad it did, because I did then screenshot it, and it has, of course, disappeared now. What is this drama with Facebook? What's, you know, if people on Facebook, we talked about it yesterday, didn't we? There's so much venom, so much spite from people that are supposed to want the same end, like to find Samantha Murphy. Same with Nicola Bulley. Everybody wanted to justice for Nicola Bulley, but on the Facebook groups, there's so much sort of hatred and spite between people. Just sort of, you know, I don't get it, but anyway. So we're going to talk about two articles that we've not looked at before, and we're going to look at this drama on the Facebook page. Yeah, you do well, Wendy, not to go on Facebook. I go on, you know, I sort of, it's like, I don't go on it for ages, and I think, no, I'm not going on there anymore. I'm not looking at that rubbish anymore. And then it's like, you know, it's like driving past a car crash and you just can't help but look, you know, and then you think you're missing something. You're normally not. But, you know, having said that, it is interesting, and it's nice when people come together to talk about things, same as YouTube. Probably lots of people think YouTube's rubbish, or people shouldn't go on YouTube and discuss things, but people like to discuss things, so it's good. But I think the groups have to be well administered, because, you know, there's so many sort of nasty people come on there, and then the groups turn into something else, like, you know, they're not all about Nicola Bulley anymore. They're all about a completely different agenda, just pretending to be about Nicola Bulley. So, you know, it's a very strange thing. But anyway, there you go. They're there. They serve their purpose. People like going on them, and that's not for me to tell people what to do. So let's have a look at these news articles. Thank you, Alana. Yeah, well, I do try, Alana, to be impartial. Now, it's difficult at times because, you know, I've got my opinions as well. You know, we've all got our opinions, but I do try and present different ways of looking at things. That's my intention anyway, so I hope it comes over as that. So let's have a look. So the first article I want to have a look at is an article now. It was published today, But really, it's not. It's a typical. What the mainstream media are doing is they're trying to keep these things going. It's not really any new news, but they present it in a different way, don't they? So I think the headline was something bushland not properly explored or something like that. So this is, what paper is this? Oh, this is news.com Australia, and this is an article that was put out at my time, 8:24 a.m. Saturday, March the 22nd. So it's literally, an article put out not long ago. Bushland around Ballarat still unexplored, with Samantha Murphy nearly 4 weeks missing. So yeah, 4 weeks. That'll be tomorrow, won't it? Sunday will be 4 weeks since she went out for her jog. So volunteers in the search for a missing mum found potential evidence in several spots that were not yet covered by previous searches. I mean, the thing is, I think what we have to remember is the police have searched where the digital data has taken them to search. They won't see the point in searching other areas. There's a reason why the police have searched what they've searched and given up searching the other bits. Now, this was, let's just have a look at this. Jake, we have seen this video before.
Hi everyone. Well, I've hooked up with a local here by the name of Dave, who's got all the bells and whistles of GPS and EPIRB.
He's right into the bushland there, and I don't think the police really searched there at all. They were mainly along the trail. But you see, of course, they've got some sort of digital data that we're not sure is the phone or is the watch that showed Samantha going along the trail for 7 kilometers. So maybe they think she wouldn't be, and then something happened. And then they've got the digital data to show that something happened at that 7 kilometer point. So they've probably not bothered, although I think they did the first week. They searched the first week and they haven't gone back to search again. So there's a reason. The police won't be searching there just because they can't be bothered or they're lazy. It's because they know something else, I would say.
I've got my mud watch, and we seem to have made a pretty good team already. Now, I'm just going to say straight up, this is bloody thick. Dave, we're going to have to close the gap significantly, I think, mate. I can see your fluoro hat through there. Can you come... See that tree there between us? Can you come to about there and then just squat down and I'll see if I can see your fluoro hat from there? Can I turn the camera around while I'm doing a vid?
You know, you could, I still think you could search that area 50 times and you still couldn't be sure that you'd looked at everything unless you had a cadaver dog with you or something.
Just that tree there, you're about 3 metres from it? Yeah, I'm just looking at stuff on the ground here. Okay. I thought it was bones, but it wouldn't be relevant anyway, but it's BBC close. Okay. So, as you can see, it's super thick here, but if I get down low, it's still thick, but if he drops down there, can even create a little keyhole. Can you just drop down next to that tree and I'll see if I can, so I can see where you are from there? Yeah, I can just see your fluoro hat through there. Yeah, beauty. So mega thick through here, guys. And
yeah, do you see what I'm saying? Is you could easily miss something. Though would you know, I don't mean to be graphic, but if Samantha's body was in there, there would be a smell. So that would attract you to, because you know, I feel awful. I feel like I'm being graphic, and I don't like to be graphic. But you know, 4 weeks. There would still be a smell, wouldn't there? So, but the police, I believe, have searched this area and with dogs.
It's encouraged me to think that I'm just going to pop down and see if I can still see the road to the right. Oh. Yeah. No, I'm going to shuffle over a little bit, and then I'm going to... Can you keep coming over to me a little bit? Oh, no, you're good there. That's good. I'm just going to... Again. So we're going to because it's so thick. Are you okay with going through this? Yep. So we'll so I've got a visual on the road.
You know, it's quite dangerous, that really, what they're doing, because everyone keeps talking about all the mine shafts that are around. What if he went down a mine shaft? Is he not, you know, anyway. Do you see what I'm saying? If if there are mine shafts around, they'll be on these off the beat that aren't signalled. They'll be off these beaten track places, surely.
That's all right. Well, at least we'll know where we are and what we're doing. So yeah, it's so thick through here, and it's really, really worth. What's that, buddy? Just a little bit, if you don't mind. And yeah, totally worth searching. This is area where joggers come all the time, and not far from the area where Samantha's gone missing.
You won't get a jogger in there, Jay. There's no joggers going to jog through there.
It looks like no one's been through here and searched through here, so yeah, I've got plenty of work to do.
Yeah, I don't think any joggers are going to go through there, are they? But yeah, anywhere's worth searching, I suppose. So what it says in this article, that large areas of bushland have remained uninvestigated in the search for missing Ballarat woman Samantha Murphy, with volunteers left scouring the area after police scaled back their active search. So as we know, Samantha is a 51-year-old mother of 3 who went missing on February the 4th when she went for a jog through the Wuwukarung Regional Park. And police have said that they suspect one or more persons were involved in her disappearance. On Sunday, she will have been missing for 4 weeks. So bush tracking expert and visiting volunteer Jake Kassar said he and other volunteers delivered several items of potential evidence to authorities in areas of the dense scrub that had not been previously searched. So he said there are many thick areas of bushland when I turned up that had not been searched. But as I say, I think there's a reason for that. You know, the police have searched what they've searched. So through my tracking experience, he said, you can clearly tell when areas of scrub have not been disturbed. Personally, I think this article is just like for something to say in the silence between police reports. So Mr. Kassar was invited to Ballarat by volunteers who paid for his airfare and accommodation. And while he was recruiting and training volunteers, he began scouring areas in the park that had not yet been turned up by searches. Now, this Facebook drama that I'm going to tell you about, it's revolving around the search. So I don't know what happened. Well, we're going to read about it, and then you can make your own mind up what you think reading between the lines has led to all this drama on Facebook. I was able to find areas that were undisturbed to the tune of me being able to find things, and the person that was with me being able to find things that certainly should have been handed over to the police, he said. But he could not confirm what those items were so as to not interfere with the investigation. But he said there was a main item of interest. And that it confirmed that the area had not yet been fully searched. So police told NCA Newswire they would not be elaborating on intelligence received or items found from the case unless this is determined that this will assist the advancement of the investigation. They're very tight-lipped, the police, and I think they, you know, it's right what they're doing. And that makes me even more certain that when they do come out and give these press conferences like they did last Friday, it's for a reason. You know, they think it will advance the investigation to come out and give this information. It's either trying to sort of, you know, frighten someone or trying to push someone into doing something or say something. Everything the police do, which, you know, is not that much. I don't mean they're not doing anything behind the scenes. I mean, anything that they do publicly, they do it for a reason, 100%. So a spokesperson for the ground team of volunteers confirmed there was a lot of scrub that hadn't been thoroughly searched. Jake found a lot of virgin bush, as they like to call it, which means it's been untouched. Oh, sorry, I'm laughing because I don't know if David's on here, because he would make a meal out of that. Gosh, it gets worse. Anyway, so more than 200 volunteers attended the search last Saturday. Out of the area they covered, maybe 10% of the virgin bush remained, but other areas still have large amounts of scrub. I think, when you're getting the giggles, that they haven't reached, and it's a serious subject. I'm so sorry. The ground team made the decision to pause their latest search on Saturday due to bushfire conditions. Yeah, so of course the bushfires have complicated things. And now there's reports coming out that these bushfires were started deliberately. So, I don't know if that's, let me just look, because I don't know if that has been confirmed officially yet. Let me just have a little check. Yeah, I think it's being treated as suspicious, according to The Guardian. So, who would do that? I mean, what's wrong with people to do that? But anyway, let's go back to what we were talking about. So the ground team, while the fire is now under control, the ground team is instead using the weekend to meet with volunteers and recruit more team leaders. Yeah, so there's no searches this weekend. They said that they would call off the searches for this weekend, but they're using the weekend to meet with volunteers and recruit more team leaders. They're looking for experienced navigators who are comfortable with navigating into denser bush to lead smaller groups within the team. We want to perform thorough line searches and cover as much of the bushland as possible, they said, systematically ruling out that nothing relevant to Samantha's case has been left unfound. Yeah, I don't want to just repeat things we've done, but Mr. Cassar said it was possible Miss Murphy could be found in those mines. Yeah, so they've been investigating the local mines with metal detectors, etc. And he also suggested checking isolated areas 5 to 20 kilometres out of Ballarat. I've got a great deal of respect for police and the SES searches, he said. I think they've done a wonderful job. However, he added that government should be funding larger and longer efforts to find missing people for at least 14 days. He said she could be found anywhere, and he mentioned his time. He is a bit reminiscent of Peter Folding, isn't he? The more I sort of, it's this, because he is an expert on bushcraft, just as I suppose Peter Folding is an expert in his field. But they always start off by saying, I've got nothing but respect for the police, but I'm a lot better. That's what you get, really, isn't it? Anyway, so he was mentioning his time searching for the missing child, AJ Elfalak, which I don't know that case, but I'm sure people in Australia will know it. I was heavily involved in that search, he said, and after 3 days, people had pretty much resigned to the fact that he'd been kidnapped, and I was saying to everybody, no, please don't give up. And AJ was found shortly after. And Mr. Cassar believed he'd been living off the land for the days he'd been missing. So he does say, he said it was unlikely Miss Murphy was still alive, but he remained open-minded as to her whereabouts. Anything is possible, and never underestimate the human spirit. Well, I agree with him on that. There's always a chance. To me, the best case scenario, which is awful, is that she has been kidnapped and she's being kept alive somewhere, and that way maybe she will get returned to her children. That is, because that is what we all want, isn't it? And for all the aspersions that are cast towards Mick, her husband, I just hope against hope that it is nothing to do with him, because we don't want it to be anything to do with him. We don't want the children to lose their husband, their father as well, do we? Okay, so then that was one article that, doesn't tell us anything new really, but it's just an article we haven't gone through together before. Now, I want to add another one. Oh, so the other one was this. I thought this was quite awful, actually, because this is where they describe Samantha, or somebody describes Samantha, as the ideal victim. So missing mum Samantha Murphy is the ideal victim as disappearance grips Australia. So this is what I mean about the mainstream media. They're the ones with the sensational headlines. They're the ones that are sort of trying to get everyone's attention. So a leading criminologist has described a missing Victorian mum, Samantha Murphy, as the ideal victim, as her sudden disappearance continues to grip the nation. So the 51-year-old has not been seen leaving her Ballarat home since leaving her Ballarat home on February the 4th to go for a run. So despite an exhaustive month-long search by authorities and hundreds of volunteers, no trace of the mother of three has been found. So well-known criminologist associate Professor Xanthi Mallet explained that very few missing persons resonate with Australians like, see the same Murphys again, that means Samantha's? It's only very occasionally that a missing person case strikes a chord like this. She said that Murphy was the ideal victim. I'm not sure about this at all. As going by information available at the moment, she appears to have been living a totally innocent life. See, I don't like that either. So what they're saying is, because everyone, any victim, just because maybe they're a call girl, or if they're, a sex worker, is that what she means? Because she was leading an innocent life. As far as they know so far, she wasn't having an affair with someone. Does that make, it's like, I mean, it does happen, though. I suppose I agree with it. It does happen. People start to judge victims, don't they? Victim blaming. That like, oh, well, they were sex workers. So, it's sort of almost like they practically deserved it, even though they were still, a daughter, a mother, a sister, a person. And the blame lies with the person who murders a victim, not with the victim. But yeah, I think I know what she's saying, but I think she could have described, to me, it's like this every woman thing, like with Nicola Bulley. If people can identify, lots of different people can identify with Samantha, like they could with Nicola Bulley, because people who, she could be their mum, she could be their sister, she could be their friend. She could be their daughter. This is the thing when people, and doing a very, to me, it's, doing a very ordinary thing like going out for a run that so many women do every day. Not sort of walking, although you should be able to walk through the streets at 4:00 in the morning and be safe. But, because she wasn't doing that, she was doing something that we would class as a normal thing, like with Nicola Bulley just taking her dog for a walk. I think that does make it all the more sort of, relevant to people. Anyway, she seems to have been living a totally innocent life. Well, of course, we don't know all the details of her life. As a very normal, very average woman. And in a similar fashion to the disappearances of William Tyrrell and Cleo Smith, which of course they were children, Professor Mallet says Samantha's case puts fear into Australians with the belief it could happen to anyone. Yeah, I think that's true, because I think if somebody's a sex worker, you wouldn't think that could happen to you if you're not a sex worker. So But if you go for a jog or if you take your dog for a walk, which probably more people do, it could easily be you. Anyway, veteran crime expert John Sylvester said that the possible killer could be nearby, and he agrees that Samantha's lack of secrets meant the case was particularly intriguing to the Australian public. He offered the eerie theory that of the 300 locals involved in the search party, a potential killer could be among them. Police will also be considering that one of those searchers is the alleged killer, in that they have inculcated themselves into that situation to be seen part of the community, but also keeping an eye on what's going on. Well, this was on that radio interview that we watched the other day, so they've sort of rehashed it a little bit. And he didn't, when he said they've manipulated that, because what he actually said was a victim has no secrets. He didn't say that Samantha had no secrets. What he was saying was victims have no secrets because the police delves into then, to their victim, to find their victimology, to find out about the victim, to try and get an idea of who's done what to them. They go into every aspect of their life, and that's what he meant by a victim has no secrets. He did not say that Samantha had no secrets. She might have had loads of secrets, but the police now will know what those secrets are because they'll have gone into every aspect of her life that they possibly can. Okay, and then it goes on to the possibility that she's fallen down one of the mine shafts. Well, we looked at that on the programme, on the runner, the program that we looked at together. And actually I've got that program. I'm going to upload that just as a video on its own, so anyone who hasn't seen the program can watch it, it's not with commentary, not with adverts, just the actual program itself. I will upload that at some point. So that's really all that's, and you couldn't even really call them really new, but that's all there is. New things about Samantha today as far as the news is concerned. But what I wanted to tell you about was this complete drama that's going on Facebook, which I'm not really sure. Hi, David. Yeah, you were mentioned in dispatches. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Wesley. No, she's not been found yet. So good old Facebook. Good old Facebook. You can always rely on Facebook for a bit of drama. But as I say, hang on. Sorry. I've got to look at my phone for this. So last night, when I woke up in the middle of the night, as I normally do, and I always just have a look to see if there's been any news about Samantha. I'm looking for gallery. And I saw this post, and luckily I screenshot it because it has gone now. And I'm not going to, I'm trying to decide which one to start with. Right. So first of all, so this is on the Find Samantha Murphy 2 Facebook. Now, of course, yesterday we looked at or we listened to the podcast, didn't we, with Cindy Hobbs, who was saying why she had finished or deactivated the first Find Samantha Murphy Facebook, which it resulted that she deactivated it because the police had told her to deactivate it, according to her, and that you can watch that video and listen to that podcast if you haven't listened to it already. I found it a very interesting podcast because it was good to hear, from the horse's mouth, if you like, that her version of, why she's saying she deactivated the Facebook account. Now, this new Facebook. I mean, bearing in mind, it's only been 4 weeks since Samantha went missing. So these are all, you know, as far as the Nicola Bulley Facebook pages are concerned, they've been going over a year and they're still going. Though I do think they've turned into something else than being about. A lot of them have turned into different things, like not really about Nicola Bulley anymore, I think, because there isn't much say about Nicola Bulley, because, you know, at the end of the day, we had the inquest, we've had the College of Policing report, you know, the family aren't interested in taking things further. So it's very difficult to, you know, just keep rehashing the same thing. But, you know, they do that as well. But, you know, and it's good. It's good to keep Nicola's name in the spotlight. But I think some of them have sort of lost their way and become about other people and not about Nicola. But this one has only been 4 weeks. So, and of course, those other Facebook pages, they do squabble a bit between themselves, you know, and that you do, so much trolling, so many false accounts, so many, you know, they have to be very well administered, because, you know, it's the false accounts that get me. I mean, you just can't believe what anyone says on Facebook these days. Anyway, I say these days, it's probably always been the same. I think it's quite difficult for someone who's open about who they are, like I am. Maybe I'm too open, you know. If you're open about who you are, it's hard to imagine somebody setting up loads of false accounts just to go and troll on other people's, you know. I can't imagine doing that. It's like, why would you, you know, really? Well, I haven't got the time to do it for a start. Also, I've got no inclination to do it. And luckily for me, even on groups that I'm not a member of, maybe, or I've been turfed off, because I've been turfed off one, which I realise exactly why now. My chatters, you know, my support, they come and tell me what's going on everywhere anyway. So, which I'm really grateful for. So, you know, I don't need to go around creating false accounts and trying to sort of spy on things. But anyway, let me just tell you then about, so this, first of all, there was a post put on there, media release, it says, and I'm not going to show the person's name who put this post on, because it's probably not fair, though I'm not sure that they're a real account, because, or they may just be hiding their identity, because, you know, as in Hobbes found, when you say who you really are, then you get all this hate, etc. But you know what, you get the hate anyway. So this media release came out. Unfortunately, a certain member of the local community has made false and defamatory comments about community donations for the search for Samantha Murphy last Saturday, the 24th of February. So obviously someone's cast aspersions, because there were donations. I think there may have even been a GoFundMe, you know, those good old GoFundMe campaigns. Unfortunately, when people misuse, I'm not saying they've misused it, but what people do misuse these GoFundMe campaigns, and that puts people off contributing to genuine, you know, genuine people or genuine situations where people need donations. You know, because GoFundMe in itself, I suppose, is a good idea, but you're never quite sure really who's the money going to, who's set up the account, what's it for, is it justified? You know, I think it's quite complicated, isn't it? So let's have a look what it says. Oh, I'm not showing it, am I? Hang on. So yeah, this is the media release. So unfortunately, a certain member of the local community has made false and defamatory comments about community donations for the search for Samantha Murphy last Saturday. All donations have been accounted for. Everything but perishable food has been retained for future searches. The leftover sausages. Sorry, do you know what? I'm in one of those moods this morning. I keep giggling at inappropriate times, but the thought that they might be arguing over a tray of sausages is like, just makes me giggle. It just appeals to my, it just triggers off my sort of bad sense of humour. The leftover sausages, a tray of, were going to be taken to the soup bus, but as it was closed, they were disposed of for food safety reasons. Now, maybe they took these sausages home. Maybe they gave them their dogs. Maybe they gave them their neighbours. But, it doesn't really matter, does it, a tray of sausages? And anyway, if this person had been, I know it's volunteers who did the searches, but, if you can't give a volunteer a tray of sausages, for God's sake, it seems a petty thing to argue about. I feel like I want to tell a story there of something that, oh dear. So anyway, no, I won't tell it. It's not appropriate during this. I've got a story about sausages, but never mind. It's disappointing when a large and highly successful arranged community search for a missing person is distracted out of a vendetta against innocent people, those who have been actively searching for Samantha Murphy from the beginning of her disappearance. It's even more disheartening when community volunteers take time out of their life to arrange, participate in, and actually financially contribute towards the event as well, to be accused of wrongdoing. And they say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And puzzling why anyone would want to make unfounded and false allegations, which only serves to detract from planning future events. In regards to the serious privacy breach made by that community member towards one of our volunteers, and I'll just tell you, I think it's against this person who's writing this. As I say, I'm not going to show the name, but I think that's the person based on the other post that I'm going to read out to you. The matter is in the hands of relevant authorities. We assure you, it's not a fake account. We meet face to face in planning and we can verify the authenticity and character of the accused person. It does look like a fake account. It does look like it, but, I don't know if it's a fake account or not. Or maybe it's just someone trying to cover up their true identity because they live in the area, I don't know. However, please remember that privacy exists for a reason, and to screenshot a person's URL details from a private setting is now considered a cybercrime. Now, maybe that's true, but I didn't know, this is, when you go on Facebook, really, this is not, I think this is a public Facebook page. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to tell the name anyway. If anyone has evidence of the deliberate attempts by a particular community member to breach anyone's privacy or slander their character, to report it. Bullying and harassment is a serious societal issue. Well, do you know what? Facebook is full of it, and I don't think Facebook care. Bullying and harassment is just common on Facebook. We have strict group rules to manage it. It's not something we will tolerate. So at this point, this person is obviously standing up for themselves, it is, that they're talking about. But then later, they released another statement, which I'm going to read out to you in a moment. So I don't know what happened in between. We thank the community members who are quick to defend our integrity, but we remind people, be kind. 2, some people may be suffering emotional distress at the time of their actions. We are grateful for your faith and support. Yes, and I think you do always have to remember that, if people just go around trolling left, right and centre, but they don't know what the mindset is of the person that they're bullying. And, that can lead to all sorts. Many thanks for your continued support and dedication towards searching for Samantha Murphy. We're in the process of planning around how to improve future searches, of which we will be scheduled shortly. If anyone who donated has any queries about their donations, please contact us and we will be happy to provide transparent and accurate and truthful accounts. We look forward to coming together again for a greater purpose of finding Samantha Murphy. Now, we saw like the videos of the people all getting together. You know, they've gone there and they've organised all this, and they've got that Jake there to look and that. So, I mean, to me, if I donated to something like that, I wouldn't really care where it went in the end, as long as you can see that it's been done. You know, so what you're going to do if you donated $5 or whatever, you're going to say, I want to know exactly where my $5 went. Did it buy that tray of sausages that somebody took home for their dogs? You know, you're not going to say that, are you? If you donate $5 or €5 or £5, you've donated it into, you know, and you can see that they organised the searches like they said they would. They brought Jake over, paid his fare, etc., and his expenses. You don't want to account for your $5 in particular, do you? I mean, the evidence is there that they did what they said they were going to do. They organised the search. You know, and whatever you've put towards it, you know, you're not going to, as I say, want to account for every tray of sausages. So this is kind regards from Ground Crew. So this Ground Crew is also a separate account, and they're the Ground Crew that have been organising the searches. Now, the other post that I want to read you out, just come back, make sure you're all right. So this same person who posted that, which I say, I'm not going to actually say their name. They're on Facebook, but it's a very, you know, it's not a what you'd call a profile that looks like a real person, but that could be just, you know, they're protecting their family or whatever. And they put a post out in the middle of the night, which I just happened to catch because I'd woken up in the middle of the night and looked and thought, oh, what's that? And it was this. And she, you know, put it to everyone. So she wanted everyone to see it. I cannot continue in this group. Let me just stop sharing that because it might come. So I can't show you this because it's on my phone. And also it's got her name on it, of course. I cannot continue in the group in any capacity because I have to deactivate my account. Sin Hobbs, so she's now naming Sin Hobbs. And she was the lady who had the first Facebook group that we listened to on the podcast yesterday. And she is public with her name, isn't she? Sin Hobbs keeps spreading my private details despite being asked not to. She's skewed the images. She is a very dangerous person. Be careful. Now, that is not just saying, you know, that's not a light criticism, is it? I mean, that in itself is slander, really, to say that someone is a very dangerous person. Be careful. She's been reported to E-Safety Commission, to Facebook, and I have an appointment with the Magistrates Court to stop her. I have to deactivate my account. Thank you for all your efforts. Please note that this group has done nothing to Sin Hobbs. Our crime is actually coming together to search. I'm going to need to go on to the next page now. So, our crime actually coming together to search as a community. She obviously has serious psychological issues. So this is a real attack on Sin Hobbs. I'm doing what I need to. I've done nothing to that woman. As they say, no good deed goes unpunished. But together we'll find some answers for Samantha Murphy's family. So luckily I screenshot that because I can't actually find that today. So hi Susan. Yeah, so it's gone from sort of on the Facebook group, you know, just, you know, moaning that they'd been called out for doing something wrong to a really I think quite, I'm not taking sides here. I don't know what the sides are, what the right, if any of it is true. I don't know if the first person stole that bloody tray of sausages or not. I don't care, to be honest. I don't know if Cynthia Hobbs has cast these aspersions about this person. But all I know is that particular attack seems quite virulent, doesn't it? She's literally saying that Sin Hobbs, accusing her of spreading her private details, although Facebook is not private. That's the other thing. Unless you actually make your account private, anything you put on Facebook, really, people can see. And she says she's a very dangerous person. I think that is quite slanderous, really. Anyway, there's obviously some court that she said, I have an appointment with the magistrates court to stop her, and I have to deactivate my account, which I did find her account this morning again. She hasn't, although she may have come off the actual Find Samantha Murphy account. I don't know if she has or not, but I think her account is still there. Let's have a look. Yeah. 5 days ago. Yesterday. Yeah, she's, her account is still on there. As I say, it looks as much like a fake account as you would ever see. But then some people don't want any personal details on their account. So I don't know if it's a fake account or not. But at least we do know that Sin Hobbs is a real person, whether we like her or not, or whether we agree what she says. She is publicly in the public eye. So I think one thing we do know is she's a real person. But yeah, everyone's fighting over the sausages. Sorry. This is honestly, David, it's a good job you weren't on earlier, because I think if you would have been on, first of all, I was nearly giggling about the bush, and then now the tray of sausages. And it's not, I know it's a serious subject, but to me, a serious subject is finding Samantha Murphy. But so how these Facebook groups descend into bun fights or sausage fights, it's like, it's just beyond me. What is it? What is it? They're all on the same side. How is that? And one thing I do agree with this person is, Cindy Hobbs, she came off the Facebook group, she says, because she said yesterday in the podcast, because the police told her. But also I think it took a toll on her, didn't it, because of all the trolling and the nastiness. Well, we can see here exactly that is just what's going on there at the moment. Is just an example of how it can be on Facebook. And when everyone's supposed to be looking for Samantha Murphy, caring about bringing Samantha home to her poor children that are in absolute agony and absolute despair, and they're arguing over a tray of sausages and who's right and who's wrong. What, it's so I don't know whether Sin Hobbs has got it in for this person, or maybe she's got a reason she's got it in for this person. This person sounds like really aggrieved about it, and but it's this drama that there's enough drama goes on in real life, isn't there? Look at the drama that Samantha's children are going through. This is just making a parody of it almost. It's not good, be saying things publicly like that. If she's got an issue with Sin Hobbs, and if Sin Hobbs has got an issue with her, really, do it in private. Go to court. What are you telling everyone about it for? You don't have to justify yourself. If people donated to the GoFundMe for the search for Samantha Murphy, they don't care whether you took the sausages home or whether you planted them in the woods. Hi, Kelly. Well, Kelly, I've just read it, you're going to have to catch up on it. But basically, this is the new person that's in charge of sort of ground crew search for Samantha Murphy, and Sin Hobbs, who had the first Facebook group. They're arguing about, it's not just about sausages, but that's part of it. This sort of I can't. They'd have to go through the whole thing again. So sorry, you're going to have to catch up. I just want to just to make you laugh before I finish, because at the end of the day, as far as this is concerned, we've just got to keep sight of the fact the most important thing is finding Samantha. So I presume that group is all going to get together this weekend. They're not searching this weekend. But they said because of the fires, etc. But what they said they would do is get together and discuss the next, the next step, what to do next. And meanwhile, I don't know what the police, because I'm sure the police are monitoring these Facebook groups. God knows what they're thinking about it all. So that's what they'll be doing this weekend, and we're just hanging on for some official information, aren't we? The police, it's been over a week since they've given any official information. Hi, Phyllis. Hi, old hippie. That's right. That I think the problem is with drones is if they're trees, and that the drones won't be able to look between the trees, will they, or will they? So yeah. Yeah, you're right, blank faces. We do know too much about each other. But the thing is, in a way we do, and in a way we don't, because you know what it's like. People, I don't believe anything I see on social media, as far as Facebook and things like that are concerned. You have to take everything at face value, because I know, I'm thinking more of, first of all, I don't like anonymous posts. So you get these people on anonymous and then start churning on about something and think, well, I certainly won't believe what anyone who puts himself on there as anonymous says, because if you can't, actually admit who you are. And I also don't listen to people who've got, when I look at their accounts, if they look fake, I don't take any notice. Same on Twitter, so many fake accounts, no photo, no background, no nothing. And you just think, why? Why should I even care about what you think? But the other thing, God, I was going to, so I know even just from friends, isn't it? We know, you see, God, nobody puts on their Facebook something, they never say, I've had a really awful day today and I look like crap, I look like I've been dragged through a hedge backwards. I sometimes say that, but I don't show myself looking like that. When I go on the avatar and I'll say, I couldn't be putting my makeup on or doing my hair. Like, I've washed my hair this morning. That's why I'm got my face on it. Because we all want to look good, don't we? Or we all want to, nobody wants to go on Facebook and say what a crap life they're having. People put on these photos and it's all smiles and they're in these fantastic places. And that's human nature, don't get me wrong. And how many pictures have we seen of happy couples just before one of them murders the other, smiling and looking like it's this perfect relationship, etc. So, we know that Facebook and Twitter and even YouTube to some point, we know that we have to look at these things with an open mind. We can't just accept things blindly. I used to do it. My son used to go mad years ago. He'd say, why do you believe young people know a lot more about it, understand it a lot more. The first thing they'll do is they'll look at something, even in the news or whatever, and before they accept that that's true, then they'll go looking elsewhere and make sure it's true. Whereas it's easy to just take things at face value, isn't it? So this with the sausages, I just don't know, so obviously one person's annoyed with Sin Hobbs, so I haven't given that other person's name. I don't think it's a real name anyway, but Cindy, she is open, she does mention her name openly, so I don't feel bad about saying her name. And as I say, I'm not taking sides. I don't know where the truth is. I have no clue where the truth is. It's probably somewhere in the middle. Hi, Tracy. Yeah, and talking of sausages, so just to make you laugh before I go, though I've got other news. I might carry on with other news. Just going back to sausages, which seems to be a big theme of this morning's live. Years ago, my friend and I, we went to stay at a guest house in Torquay or Newquay, one of them key places. And it was lovely, but it was a bit like Fawlty Towers. For those of you who know what Fawlty Towers are, the sitcom with John Cleese, it was a bit like that. It was a bed and breakfast. The guy that was running it, he was a bit like John Cleese. Honest to God, it was just like Basil Fawlty. And me and my friend, I don't know why we went there really, because we were young at the time. We probably should have gone somewhere like Benidorm or something. We just, we were just looking for some nightlife, and there was no nightlife. There was nothing. Anyway, we got there was a couple of guys staying there, and we obviously got quite friendly with them, and we'd go out, and we found a pub. We definitely found something, because I know one night we're only there for the weekend or something. One night we managed to get quite drunk. Now, in the morning, the breakfast in the morning, although it was like Fawlty Towers, the breakfasts were to die for. The English breakfast in the morning. It was so nice, and I was eating meat then, and the sausages were fantastic, right? They were just so nice, and we were all talking about how nice these sausages were. So this, on the final night that we were there, and we went out and got drunk somewhere. I don't even remember where we went. Maybe we had a drink in our room. I can't remember. No, it must have been outside the hotel, because it's when we came home drunk, and we were hungry. So we came up with this bright idea, because everything was closed then. It was one of those places where you had to be in by 11, otherwise like the cage shutters went down or whatever. And there was nobody about, nobody on reception. It was so quiet. Everyone had gone to bed, and just us coming in from the pub. And we had this fantastic idea of going and making something to eat in the kitchens. God, when I think about it now, the escapades that I've got up to. So there's the four of us, these two guys and me and my friend. And off we go into the kitchen and found some sausages. So we found a packet of sausages, these fantastic sausages. And, like things you do when you're a teenager and you do silly things. I said, I'm going to take a pack of those sausages home with me tomorrow. So we stole a big packet of these sausages. When I say a big packet, I mean a culinary pack, wasn't just a little packet like you get in Tesco. It was a great big sort of pack that you'd get for, I don't know what the word is, but, sent to hotels and things like that, bed and breakfast places. Of course, in the morning when I woke up, I'm thinking, oh my God, why did I do that? I've got this great big pack of sausages in my room. So I actually took it outside and buried it in the garden of this bed and breakfast hotel. Buried the sausages in the garden. And then that morning when we went down to breakfast, we were thinking, are we going to get any sausages? Because maybe they've got no sausages left. So they could still be there buried in the garden, that big pack of sausages. But that's just reminded me of it, telling this story about the tray of sausages. But maybe it grew a sausage tree in their garden. But oh dear. I know everybody wants a sausage now. I think I'm going to have to go and get some vegetarian sausage. But oh dear. I have done some escapades when I was young. Hi, Susan. No, Simon, they didn't say how many sausages. She just said a tray of sausages, wasn't it? A tray of sausages. For those of you who may be coming in late and don't know, it said the leftover sausages, a tray of, were going to be taken to the soup bus, but as it was closed, they were disposed of for food safety reasons. So now what disposed of means, so the leftover sausages, a tray of, were going to be taken to the soup bus, but as it was closed, they were disposed of for food safety reasons. So someone's obviously mentioned this tray of sausages. You know, somebody must have commented on it for this person to feel that they've got to explain what happened to these sausages. But honestly, I wouldn't worry because, you know, if I'd contributed to that search, I wouldn't care if somebody took a tray of sausages home. You know, if somebody turned up there with as a volunteer to help, they deserve a tray of sausages as far as I'm concerned. So it just shows you how things can sort of descend into pettiness. So this is a very serious, you know, issue, searching for a missing woman at 3 children and waiting for her to come home, and it's descended into this like petty argument about sausages. So just crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. Yeah, you can't get a wee takeover. You know, if you'd helped to organise a barbecue, because that's what they did. They had a barbecue at the end for the searchers. You know, it's fair enough. They're probably all starving, and you know, and it's also a way of get chatting and saying what the experience. I just don't get it. And you know, you get someone. There'd always be someone who'll be saying, you know, you took the tray of sausages home, or I don't know what happened to that Greek salad, you know, or I just people are so petty, aren't you? Aren't they? Sorry, aren't you? I don't mean you, I mean they. So, and they're going to court. Yes, it is. Yes, Kelly, it's Cindy. So honestly, when you look back, you'll see. I read out all the statements and everything, but apparently it's going to court. So. Okay, so I was going to finish off there, but do you know what? I think what I'll do, because I haven't got any more news about Samantha, but a story that I did want to tell you about that was going to see tonight. I will be doing a live. I've got something I want to talk about, actually, to do with the Nicola Bulley case, and I'm going to do that tonight in a live. But there's always something to talk about, isn't there? So what I'm going to do is talk about this other case, and I'm going to chop this into 2 videos, as I do sometimes, because some people like a shorter video as well. Some people don't like the lives, etc. So what I'll be doing later is cutting this video into 2. But what I want to tell you about, if you haven't heard about it, is a case over in America now. So I'm going to America. Very, very, I mean, all cases are sad, but you know, when they involve children, you know, or young people, it's always worse, isn't it? And I don't know if you know what has happened. There's been a case in America that's been going on since February the 26th this year. So on February the 26th, 13-year-old Madeline Soto. So it's interesting. She's got the same. Do you remember where, you know, those of you who've been watching my channel for a while, not you new. I know I've got quite a lot of new subscribers lately, but the ones that have been watching me for a while, remember when we were looking for Charlotte? Oh, no, that was Senna, not Soto. Who's Soto? Just seems to be familiar to me, the surname Soto, S-O-T-O. But anyway, no, that was Charlotte Senna. Soto, was that the girl that was shot? Anyway, doesn't matter. 13-year-old. So this girl was 13 and she was reported missing on the 26th of February this year. Now, she was supposedly dropped off at school by her mother and stepfather, but reportedly she did not attend school that day. And it was said that she was last spotted around 8:30 a.m. on Monday at Village Park Drive in the area of Town Loop Boulevard and Hunters Lane. So there was, a bolo issued, or a press release issued by the Orange County Sheriff's Office about this girl going missing, and let me share it with you actually. Hi, Mello. Honestly, yeah, I can't go into the whole story. Yeah, Sausage Gate, Susan. It's Sausage Gate. You have to catch up, Mello. But yeah. Anyway. So this is her, Madeline Soto, 13 years old, female, white, blonde, blue eyes, 5'1", 110 pounds. Now, so she was it's taking me to the Twitter page now. So she was wearing a green sweatshirt, black shorts and white Crocs. And so they appealed for information about Madeline. Had anyone seen her, etc. In the meantime, of course, a child alert went out, and now it says on this tweet here by, I don't know who this person is, Shezarazada Morales, that her mum dropped her off at the church by the school this morning. But it turned out it was her mum and her stepdad that dropped her off at the church by the school. Bright green hoodie, black shorts, white Crocs. The mum has contacted the media. And here we go. We've got the pictures of Madeline, bless her. Because the bad news is that Madeline is no longer on this planet. But I just want to tell you how this story evolved, if you like. So her mum said, her mother's partner said that he dropped her off not far from the school as she wanted to walk the rest of the way. And Madeline's mother added, "In my heart, I feel like somebody took her. This isn't like her to just pick up and run away or just not go to school." And according to the report, Madeline's mother stated that prior to her daughter's disappearance, there were no arguments or signs that she was upset. She also mentioned it's not usual for Madeline to miss school or not return home. And Jen stated that on the morning of her disappearance, she left her cell phone at home, but that was usual. Okay, so then later on, they're saying that Madeline Soto reportedly wanted to live in the woods. So Fox Orlando reported that Jen Soto informed that authorities are using canines and a piece of her daughter's clothing in an attempt to track her scent near Town Loop Boulevard, and multiple search teams are out there looking for Madeline Soto. Yeah, what was this thing? Oh, that was an update. Has that finished? Oh, it looks like there's going to be a press conference coming up because they have found her in Woodland. Oh, we might be able to see that if it's... Anyway, so they reported that detectives interviewed Madeline's mother, her mother's partner, and her friends, and they found that she had sent text messages or made posts on social media that suggested she wanted to go and live in the woods on her 13th birthday. Authorities will also be conducting a search of Madeline's residence, which is common in such disappearances, and they've reached out to any SEX offenders who reside near the teenager's last location. This is every parent's worst nightmare, the sheriff said. Rest assured, we're doing everything possible to find out where Madeline is. Now then, I want to have a look. We've got an interview with her mother.
School. We dropped her off close to.
Okay. So this is her mother. Now watch this. I find this chilling, absolutely chilling. Let me just make sure you can see it. Yeah, you can. Yeah, well, you tell me what you think here. This, honest to God, when I saw this on Twitter this morning, I just went cold because not only look at, I mean, anyway, I don't want to sort of, because I'm going to show you a few things, but look in the background as well here. This mother is being interviewed, but look at the background. Now, she has to think about it a lot, doesn't she? And she went very uncomfortable. This is her partner. See how he came in and he's sat down right behind her. Just made me go cold. Absolutely made me go cold when I saw this. Yeah, he's making sure she doesn't say anything. Like when she's looking up, oh, hang on. Oh, I think the press conference has started. Right, sorry, I'm just going to stop over.
This is every parent's worst nightmare.
Oh, it was he was, and now it's stopped. Why has it stopped?
Many of our detectives and deputies who are working the case, they also have children, so they're working extra hard to find Madeline. We can't even imagine the pain and anguish that Madeline's family is
Ah.
going through. But I do want to assure the community that we have.
No, that was before they found her. They have found her now. So let's go back to what we were looking at. They have found her. She is no longer with us. But who do you think might be responsible, I wonder? Now, watching this, she's looking up there because she's looking at the camera. She can see him in the background. He's making sure he's there. She doesn't say the wrong thing. Just chilling when he comes into the background. Now, I'm not saying for a minute that she necessarily knows that something happened, that she was involved in anything. Maybe, you know, these women, look at her face. She knows in her head, but she's probably trying to compute it. Sometimes women stick by their partners, you know, even though it's pretty obvious that they've done something to their child. So he's a stepfather, you know. This woman, to me, she knows or she thinks that he's probably had something to do with it, but she's probably in a bit of, oh my God, you know, could he have done it? You know, she probably can't admit it even to herself. But him there, like the bloody shadow in the background, like this malevolent presence, just making sure that she doesn't say anything wrong, just really gave me the chills. She never made it, bless her. So another thing I want to show you is his interview that he made. Um, he made a, let me see if I can find it. There was a video of him talking to the police. See, Twitter's been sort of full of this, basically. Let me see if I can find. Oh, look at that. Good old JLR. You know, I like JLR. Look at this picture he's put on there of him with his sunglasses, and that does look like her in the background there, doesn't it, poor girl? Oh, I'm not sharing now, am I? I need to share. Sorry, hang on. I've done it again, forgotten. Let me go back, sorry. Look at this guy. So this is the stepfather. This is, I don't know where this picture's come from, but that looks like Madeline in his sunglasses. Just chilling, isn't it? Anyway, let me go into JLR had it on his feed. If you don't know the JLR channel, Jonathan Lee Riches, very good YouTube channel, and of course he's on Twitter, etc. And this guy, this stepfather, you know where he worked? Walt Disney World. Walt Disney World. So apparently he's been arrested because he's got child P on his phone. And on his Facebook page it says, cast member at Walt Disney World. And that's where that picture's come from his Facebook profile with the sunglasses with the pictures of her in the background. Right, here he is talking to the media before his arrest.
PHANST. All right, the first question is if I can get your first and last name and spell them both out for me.
Stephen Stearns, STEPHANSTERNS.
All right, so Stephen, you seem very emotional right now. Explain to us.
I dropped her off. Everything looked fine when I drove away. It's the last time we saw her.
What were the conversations that y'all had?
Notice when, we'll watch this again in a minute, but notice when he says I dropped her off, he shook his head. Do you know, these I know, you know, body language is not a science, and you can't prove anything with body language, only gives you impressions of people. But as he said, I dropped her off, he literally shook his head. Let's see.
It's the last time we saw her.
What were the conversations that y'all had in the car when you dropped her off?
I dropped her off.
I dropped
Everything
her
looked
off.
fine when
No,
I
I
drove
didn't.
away. It's the last time we saw her.
What were the conversations that y'all had in the car when you dropped her off?
Not much. She was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school when she got out. I love her. She said thanks, love you too.
No.
And so where do you think she could possibly be? I mean, this isn't, as I was told, this isn't normal behavior.
This is not normal behavior. She's not the type that would just run off. We don't know where she could be. We're scared. We just want her home.
Fake crying. Oh my God. Oh, look at his face there, just where I stopped that. He's like thinking, what the fuck did I do? He is, because I'm sure a lot of these in the moment, they do things and afterwards they probably think, oh God, I've just ruined my whole life. He's still, he won't be worried. I'm not saying he's worrying about what he's done to her, in the sense he doesn't care about her. He only cares about himself and what this has done. He knows he's going to prison. He knows she's going to get, because when he gave this interview, he hadn't been arrested yet. And she hadn't been found. So just to let you know, since then, he has been arrested. And her body has just been found just a few hours ago, or the news came out a few hours ago that her body had been found. But he's thinking, what the hell did I do? I'm going to prison for a long time. It's all going through his head. But it's too late now. You did it.
Are you, in a sense, blaming yourself?
It's hard not to.
It's hard not to.
I dropped her off early. I could have waited longer. She looked up.
I dropped her off early, shake the head. I could have waited longer, shake the head. Just so obvious his lies, and I'm sure that won't have escaped the police's attention either.
Okay, she was walking towards the school when I saw her. It was like any other day, so I went on with my day.
No, I didn't.
It's hard not to blame myself.
What has the conversation been with Jen since?
She's been a lot stronger than me. She's been holding it together really well, but it just keeps coming in waves. Just the reality keeps hitting. We don't know where she is. We don't know if she's safe. We're just scared. We just want her home.
Yeah, awful. We'll watch that one more time, because these people, they're fascinating, aren't they? In their, although it's awful, but it's like you have this morbid fascination with them, the lies that they can tell just so easily. Lie about a big thing like this. I mean, we all tell little lies here and there. I'm sure there's not, I try my very best not to lie, but occasionally we tell little white lies, or about silly things. But this guy, to tell an effortless lie about something like this, that takes some kind of person. The other thing that I noticed about him, see how big he is. He's a big guy. That girl would not have had a chance, would she? Wouldn't have had a chance.
All right. The first question is if I can get your first and last name and spell them both out for me.
Stephen Stearns, Stephan Stearns.
All right. So, Stephen, you seem very emotional right now. Explain to us.
I dropped her off. Everything looked fine when I drove away. It's the last time we saw her.
What were the conversations that y'all had in the car when you dropped her off?
Not much. She was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school when she got out. I love her. She said thanks, love you too. That was it.
And so where you think she could possibly be? I mean, this isn't, as I was told, this isn't normal behavior.
This is not normal behavior. She's not the type that would just run off. We don't know where she can be. We're scared. We just want her home.
Are you, in a sense, blaming yourself?
It's hard not to.
Why?
I dropped her off early. I could have waited longer. She looked okay. She was walking towards the school when I saw her. It was like any other day, so I went on with my day. It's hard not to blame myself.
What has the conversation been with Jen since?
She's been a lot stronger than me. She's been holding it together really well, but it just keeps coming in waves.
You can't look at her.
We don't know where she is.
When he says, oh, she's been holding it together really well, you can't look her in the face. God, how, I wonder what that, I mean, I do feel for the mother, because you have to hope and pray that she didn't actually know about it. You could see he was, as he got this, I don't know. If she was in love with him or whatever, she wouldn't have wanted to believe that he could have done it. But she looked a bit sort of shell-shocked to me when she was being interviewed. I think she sort of knows inside, but she can't accept it.
We don't know if she's safe. We're just scared. We just want her home.
Yeah. Trying to think who he looks like on that. Sometimes you catch, God, what's that face remind me of, that look? Yeah, God, I've seen that many twonks like this telling lies on camera. You can see, so it's all like mopping his tears. But if you look at his eyes, although they looked a bit red, didn't they, at the beginning? But may well have been crying, but he won't have been crying about her. He'd be crying because he knows he's totally messed up his life, and he'd be feeling sorry for himself. He won't be feeling sorry for her. Yeah, twonk. Anyway, then, so the good thing is, the only good thing is, he's going to prison. He's been arrested. He's been arrested. Let's see. So let's see what JLR always gives good coverage. So this is JLR. If you like sort of true crime, go over to JLR Investigates. Go over to his channel and subscribe. He's very good. Let's have a look.
The core. This is wild, folks.
Sorry, I just realised I wasn't sharing it. So this is JLR. Go over and
JLR Investigates. Come on in, everyone. Oh my God. What you're about to hear here is shocking to the core. This is wild, folks. See her right there? See her right there, Jennifer Soto, the mother of Madeline Soto, and her boyfriend, Stefan Stearns. They speak. And when Stefan speaks, it totally reminds me of Chris Watts. This is Chris Watts. Wild, folks. We're gonna play an interview right here. We're just gonna play it and then we'll further discuss. This is, you have to watch this. Check it out.
Good. So the first question is if I can have your first and your last name, spell them both out for me.
Okay. Jennifer Soto, JENNIFER
Mother.
Mother.
Jennifer, tell me how you feeling right now.
I feel like I can't breathe. All I keep thinking about is, where is she? Is she safe? Is she okay? But we're all a wreck. My entire family's a mess. We're just so worried.
When did you first realize, or when did you file a missing report?
We filed a missing report. We called the police at like 4:45 yesterday, 4:45 p.m. But she actually went missing early that morning, around between 8:45 and 9 o'clock in the morning. She went missing. We had dropped her off close to the school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way. Sorry.
sounds like there's more children in the background there. She needs to get, well, he's gone now anyway, thank God.
That should be it. Sorry about that. We dropped her off at school, close to school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to share.
You share whatever you feel comfortable sharing. I know you had conversations with detectives. Not sure what that conversation is, but whichever you feel comfortable sharing, that will put the awareness out there.
Yeah, she was spotted walking by the church, by the middle school, on the cameras. They saw her hang out in the parking lot for a little bit and then get up and leave. They didn't see a vehicle or anything else. They just saw her walk away around 9 a.m. heading towards the school, but she never made it.
What has the school said? Have you given in contact with the school?
Yes, that they're doing everything they can. They've given me all their resources. The principals called me. They've looked at their cameras. I don't think they've caught anything on the cameras. Is too far away from the sidewalk. Everything is too grainy, so they can't see specific faces. But they've looked. I'm just waiting to hear anything else from them.
Is this normal behavior
Not
to
at all.
just not show up or call or text or anything?
Not at all. No. She, from time to time, she will leave her cell phone at home accidentally, and that's actually what happened yesterday. She left her phone at home. She went to school. But that happens from time to time. She's got ADHD. Her memory, she's very forgetful. So yeah, there's no way to track her right now because the detectives don't have her phone. But this isn't normal behavior now.
What was the last thing, I guess, the conversation that you two had, you and your daughter?
What I feel with her is, honestly, I don't think she had anything to do with it. But I think in her head, you can just see she looks, it's like that rabbit in the headlights look, because I think she knows inside that there's something not right with what he's saying. She's just equivalating it all in her head, and it's not adding up, but she doesn't want to believe it. I just think she doesn't want to believe it.
We spoke about her birthday party. She had a birthday party on Sunday. She had a great time. I couldn't make it because I was working, but she had an amazing time. She was so happy with all her gifts. I told her good night, and yeah, that was it. I was the.
So it's just been a birthday, bless her. Just been a birthday.
When I took her to school in the morning, that was my partner.
Yeah. 13?
She's 13 years old. Yes.
13, Madeline. What are you thinking right now?
In my heart, I feel like somebody took her. This isn't like her to just pick up and run away, or just not go to school. I don't know what to think.
The friends' parents you've contacted.
What do you all think? Because I think she does look completely. She just can't believe it, but it's like she sort of knows, but I just think it's, maybe I just want to think the best and think that a mother would not cover up for a twonk if she knew for sure that he'd done it. But does she suspect maybe he's done it, but she just can't accept it? She looks sort of shell-shocked to me.
Went through every single person?
Everyone that we know that she knows. We've contacted them all, reached out to them. The parents have gone out to search and look for her as well. And we haven't come up with anything yet.
I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook, Hunters Creek.
The thing is, these kind of men, they target single parents. They target single mothers. They, they look online, or because a lot of people meet someone online these days, don't they? But they look specifically for single mothers with daughters, especially, or sons, depending on what their preference is. They look for them. They target them. They know they're vulnerable. They're quite often financially vulnerable, so they step in, and help them financially, offer their child a father figure. And, unfortunately, a lot of women are naive and gullible to those sort of men, because don't forget, they'll come in, they'll be love bombing, they'll be the best thing that's ever happened to them. They're struggling to bring up, children alone, probably no help from the real father. And, these sort of twonks, these horrible men, they do, if you're a single parent with young children, you have to be really, really careful, because you just don't know either, because these people, they walk amongst us. They're not, he looks like a reasonably normal guy. He doesn't look like a P. They never do. You're not your average guy. They're not some sort of dribbling wreck or monster or someone who typically looks like a P. There is no typical look of a P. And so he's come into her life, probably bombarded her at some point, maybe when Madeline was a lot younger. And who knows what's been going on there.
Rants and raves and what have you. Did people say that they were going to conduct some type of like search party or anything?
A lot of people have asked me to volunteer, like if there is one, if they can do one. I have people passing out flyers, going to every store in that vicinity, a gas station, church. I think people were being stopped in the street this morning in front of the school to see if they've seen anything, if they've heard anything. My family they're going all out right now. Yeah.
I know as a mother, a lot is going on in your brain.
So much
to bring her back home. What the law enforcement told you that you are able to share?
Yeah, see how she's shaking, because I do think genuinely she perhaps knows something in her head, but just cannot speak it even to herself, because that's the man she loves, that she's thinking about. And some people are oblivious to things. They just don't sense things, or they don't want to see things. And it's, he's a tall guy, quite good looking guy. He'll have, I'm sure he'll have knocked her for socks one way or another at some point. And now it's all computing in her brain. God, she looks like she's going to sort of, faint or something.
I mean, that they're doing the best they can. They've had detectives come out, interview us.
And she may well be terrified of him as well. I mean, I'm not using this as an excuse, because obviously it's not an excuse, but, there's always a way. If you can always, where your children are concerned, because a lot of women who put up with, domestic violence, but when it comes to their children, that's a line that they draw, isn't it? But she may not have, know anything. Maybe he is as nice as anything to her, but the way he came up behind her when she was on that Zoom call or whatever and sat behind her, that actually gave me chills, because he was monitoring what she was saying. So he could be that, she's terrified of him.
Took a piece of her clothing for the canine dog to see if they can sniff her out. I'm not sure when that's being done.
Do you have any inkling where she possibly could be? Like if you would say, okay, last time I went to work and came back, she was at James' house or Sabrina's house, and maybe I forgot to check that house, or she played at this park one week and maybe she went back there or something like that.
We've looked everywhere we could have thought, and anywhere she would have been. She would have known to wait for me at the school. But we did check if she could have walked. My mom's office is close to the school. We checked there. We checked the walking paths that she could have taken. We've checked all of her friend's house. I think we've checked everywhere I could think of, honestly.
What do you think? Oh gosh, I just had to tip my tongue. What was she wearing?
She was last seen wearing a green hoodie, black shorts, white Crocs, a black JanSport backpack with gray hibiscus flowers on it.
And this is not like her.
Not at all.
To run away, an argument, anything like that to provoke her?
She's never done anything like this, no. And we haven't had any arguments recently.
I wonder if who was it? There was one not long ago. Ian Huntley is a prior, the Soham murders, that he supposedly said to Maxine Carr, that he couldn't admit that he was the last person to see the girls alive, because they would then, because if he had a record, which, you know, had escaped the school that he worked at. But anyway, he said to Maxine Carr, she wasn't the mother of the children, of course, but his girlfriend, he didn't want to say that he was the last people to see those girls alive, because he said they would blame him. So it makes you wonder if he's maybe talked her into sort of coming up with this story, but, you know, for a different reason, like said to her, look, you know, they'll immediately think it's me, and it, you know, he could have done it. That could be why she looks like she's sort of evaluating it all in her head. He could have made her cover for him, but by telling her that otherwise they'll suspect me. You know, you just don't know. It'll come out in the wash, I suppose. I don't know if there'll be any charges. He has been arrested, but as far as I know, she's not been arrested yet.
Have this outcome.
What school?
Hunters Creek Middle School.
Tom, any questions? No. Is there anything that you think our viewers would need to know about the way you're feeling, the way the family's feeling, Madeline?
We're desperate for any answers, anything that you could do to help. I'm here for it. Just please, if you see my daughter, just please bring her home. I just hope you're okay, Maddie. I hope you're safe. I hope you're not hurt. I just hope she's okay.
When did you notice?
Oh, I really just can't decide. So at least she does make an appeal to Maddie, I suppose. But I just can't make my mind up about her. But the police will know
That she was missing, because this was at the beginning of the morning.
She got dropped off in the morning. We did not notice until after school pickup at 4 o'clock when I went to go pick her up, and she wasn't at school.
So we're going in 24 hours now.
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No word, no text message, no messages anywhere from her. I've looked at all her social medias. I've looked at all her games she could have played with, any app. No weird conversations, nothing strange. Everything was conversations with just normal friends or us.
She knows how to get home by herself, as if, like, let's just say, take a bus or an Uber or something like that. She would know how to get home alone, correct?
I'm not sure. I don't know if she would know how to get home. Maybe, I mean, I'm thinking if someone got in the car with her and if she pointed the way, what roads, she probably could figure out how to get. But like, does she know a full address? I don't think she does.
Which would give me it just puts in my brain that she always comes home with someone.
She always comes home with me.
There's no need for her to really learn. Okay. And you said no, Tom? I think that was everything. All right. The first question is if I can get your first last name and spell them both out for me.
Stephen Stearns, STEPHAN STERNS.
All right, so Stephen, you seem very emotional right now. Explain to us.
I dropped her off. Everything looked fine when I drove away. It's the last time we saw her.
What were the conversations that y'all had in the car when you dropped her off?
Not much. She was.
you know, I think he's probably said to her, say that you were with me when we dropped, because he just said, I dropped her off. But then the next minute they're saying, we dropped her off. And I think he said, it's possible that he said to the mother, will you say that you were with me? Because I wonder if he's got some sort of a record or something. And if he said to her, because you know they're going to think it's to do with me. And she's probably agreed to that. But I think you could see by what she was thinking, to me, she's thinking about it and thinking, why did he want me to say that? that is pure speculation, but it's just that she said we dropped her off, and now he's saying I dropped her off.
To sleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school when she got out, and I love her. She said thanks, love you too. That was it.
And so, where do you think she could possibly be? I mean, this isn't, as I was told, this isn't normal behavior.
This is not normal behavior. She's not the type that would just run off. We don't know where she could be. And we're scared. We just want her home.
Are you, in a sense, blaming yourself?
It's hard not to.
Why?
I dropped her off early. I could have waited longer. She looked okay. She was walking towards the school when I saw her. It was like any other day, so I went on with my day. It's hard not to blame myself.
What has the conversation been with Jen since?
She's been a lot stronger than me. She's been holding it together really well, and but it just keeps coming in waves. This reality keeps hitting. We don't know where she is. We don't know if she's safe. We're just scared. We just want her home.
Have you, like, literally put boots on the ground, went out?
Yeah, I even went out with the cops where I had dropped her off. And we looked all up and down the road, all along communities, and there was nothing helpful. None of the cameras were pointing the street. Nothing, which in 2024 was surprising. The church across the street had some cameras, and they mentioned seeing her waiting around in the parking lot for a while before moving on, and that was it. But it was grainy. It was grainy footage, and not much else.
Does it seem like she walked west, east?
They said in the direction of the school. I'm not sure what that is.
What was the language? Not language verbally, language, body language. When you dropped her off, did she seem happy? Was she like, I'm going to meet my friends?
Happy. She got a happy weekend. She just turned 13. She had her 13th birthday party. She was happy that we were all together here, and she was just very happy. She was a happy kid. She's very sweet. She's a very sweet girl. She brings a lot of joy to us, and we just not knowing.
Oh my gosh, she's a very sweet girl. She brings a lot of joy to us. Yeah, just words are failing me at the moment.
So the unknown is killing you.
Yeah, it's like our whole world is upside down. Not feeling her presence here is.
Yeah, he is like Stuart Hazel, isn't he, in the Tia Sharp case? Stuart Hazel, he was a step granddad, wasn't he? The step granddad. Though he was quite young for a granddad, if you like, because I think the grandma was a bit older than him, and he was interviewed very similar. He looked like this. He was very upset, like, you know. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Stuart Hazel.
Sorry. It's hard.
I know you're fine. Don't need to apologize. What do you want
He keeps wiping his eyes, but there are no tears, actually, no tears.
our viewers to know when they see this?
She's a sweetheart. She's a very sweet, kind girl. Just please be nice to her. Bring her home if you find her. Tell her that we love her. Wherever she is, I hope she's okay.
I mean, if someone were to come in contact with her and you gave me her...
This is definitely the Debbie Davis School of Acting, crying. He must have gone to the same crying school that Debbie Davis went to.
diagnoses, would it be easy to approach her without any like agitation or anything?
Yeah. She's a good kid. She's a good kid.
If you can sum up in one complete sentence, waking up, getting ready to drop her off at school, dropping her off at school, to now speaking to me after talking to the police about her being missing for over 24 hours right now? And one complete sentence, what would that be?
A living nightmare. It's a living nightmare. Day started off like any other. And I just want to wake up and just get hit with waves of the reality just it's setting in. As soon as it got dark last night, we started falling apart because we knew it wasn't going to come to an end. And now we're going on 24 hours and still nothing. It's conflicting reports here and there. People say they see this or that. None of it's conclusive and none of it's helpful. We just want our baby girl back.
Tom, any questions? No, I'm good. Thank you.
We just want our baby girl back. God. Oh my God. Why has it stopped?
Whoa. Oh my God, everyone.
Oh my God.
I'm at a loss of words. I saw this pop up an hour ago, and that was a WFTV.
So, if you want to hear JLR's assessment of it, then go over to JLR's channel, have a look. He'll be talking, saying what he thinks there. Gosh. Incredible. Yeah. Now, the last thing that I want to show you on that, JLR gives a lot of information about it. So she's been found. Anyway, her body has been found in near Old Hickory Tree Road, apparently. In a woodland area, her body's been found. So, but before she was found, he was arrested. So I want to show you. I think there's a video somewhere of him being arrested. Let's have a look at that. Let me go back. Let's have a look. Let's just have a look at him being arrested. Let's see. So before her body was found, she was arrested. I think they found child P on his phone, I suppose, because at the end of the day, they would be the first
Welcome
people.
back to Good Day Orlando on this Friday morning. It is good to see you this morning. I'm Danielle Knox. We do indeed start with breaking news here at this 9:30 half-hour mark.
So we want to get right out to Fox 35's Amanda McKenzie. She is live this morning from outside the Osceola County Jail. And Amanda, we know that there has been some maneuvering. What happened?
Well, just in the past few minutes, we were outside of the Osceola County Jail as Stephen Stearns was transported from the Orange County Jail here to Osceola County. We were right here as he was taken out of the patrol car and brought inside to be processed. Then he was brought quickly back out. I was able to shout several questions to him about Maddie. At one point, he was shaking his head from left to right as if saying no, but did not want to look at us or acknowledge us or answer any of our questions. He was then driven to the back here where there is this fence, and he was brought into the back. You can hear me shouting some of those questions in that video. Stephen Stearns did look tired, and he did look somewhat quiet. We do know that he has asked for an attorney in this case. He has not admitted to anything. He refused to go to the courtroom yesterday for his first appearance. It does remain to be seen if this is just a transfer of charges to Osceola County or if there could be new charges pending. That is something we're going to continue to check on throughout the day now that he is being booked here at the Osceola County Jail. Reporting live this morning, Amanda McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
Amanda, if we could just chat with you for a few seconds, if you could give us a little bit of an update now. So if folks at home, if they've not been following closely, so the reason that he was in Osceola County initially is because he has a house in Kissimmee. Is that right? But they believe that Maddie disappeared from Orange County. That's why we're doing the back and forth.
Yes, absolutely. So his home with his girlfriend, who is the mother of Maddie, they live in Kissimmee. This is where alleged crimes occurred, according to evidence found on his cell phone depicting a sexual battery and possession of sexual child abuse material. Those are the charges he is currently facing. He has not been charged with the disappearance of Maddie at this time, but this has also reached into Orange County. That's where he was picked up and put into jail there. So that is why we are both having this case in Orange and Osceola County, but it does remain to be seen if there are any potential new charges, since this is a very active investigation. As far as what we know is he is not cooperating with investigators. Initially, he did hand over his cell phone to investigators and told them, I set it on a factory reset on February 26th, which is strange because that is the same day that Maddie was reported missing.
Oh, so yeah, he set his phone to a factory reset on the 26th of February, the same day that Maddie went missing. I don't think it matters as far as the police are concerned. I think they can still get data, and I think there's a lot of charges coming for this guy, not only about Madeline, but what they'll do is they'll use, until they get their evidence together about what he's done to her, they will use the child P images that they found on his phone. That might be why he's been transferred to this different county. You know, they found things, haven't they? They found things on his phone. If he was bloody working at Disney World, he's had lots of access to children, hasn't he? So, you know, I think that's what will happen. It'll result, there'll probably be loads of charges against him, and those charges will be used as a reason to keep him in prison until they can get the main charges of the murder organised, you know, lined up, and they can charge him with that. So they'll use these other charges from the data that they found on his phone. And I think probably her mother is talking now. I think maybe once her mother realised that, and also, of course, he's out of the way, so she's not under any danger from him now because he's been arrested. And also her children are not, because she sounded like she had other children, didn't it, as well? You know, you have to think about these things. Once he's gone, I expect she gets a lot more talkative, the mother.
But the detectives were able to comb through that phone and find that digital evidence and footprint, and were able to arrest him on those charges.
You know, Amanda, another question for you too, and for our viewers at home, the family. We got to speak with the mother a couple of days ago, and she expressed that she just wants, you know, Maddie back home. She wants her safe, and you actually can see Stefan right in behind her in that video, kind of just watching it. We've actually interviewed some people that are not related to the case that talked about some of his behaviors. Can you kind of walk us through, you know, just honestly that interview and also the family's kind of response to what's been going on? Because we haven't heard from them, right, since we've known that he's now in jail with these charges.
Well, we did reach out to the family after Stearns was arrested, and the aunt for Maddie did tell us that they are heartbroken and they're continuing to pray for her safe return. Now, in that interview with Jen, Maddie's mother, she is very upset, crying, just wanting her daughter to come home safely. And in the back far left corner, you can see Stefan Stearns, and it points throughout that interview. He sits down behind her, is seen fidgeting and cracking his knuckles, and we spoke with a behavior specialist who said that is concerning behavior in this.
Oh, he was definitely threatening her in that interview, sitting right behind her like that, like she said, cracking his knuckles and looking over her shoulder, making sure she didn't say anything. Very intimidating of her. What a horrible, oh, just thank God that he has been arrested. Well done, the police.
This case, and in her opinion, not attached to this investigation. She would be suggesting that detectives zero in on him as a suspect, and right now he is considered a prime suspect.
And very quickly, it was just so intriguing to see how close you were to him, and you were able to shout out those questions to him. And you talked about, as you were shouting those questions, he kind of shook his head back and forth as if to say no. What was he saying no to, and what kinds of questions were you able to ask him?
I was asking, where's Maddie? Where was she last seen? Did you hurt her? What could have happened? What did happen in your home, which is what you're accused of doing with your phone, with this digital evidence? What was on your phone?
Yeah, Amanda, it's so many questions. I think that we're all struggling to figure out what happened. But one of the things that we know from that interview that the mother did with Hannah McKenzie is that she repeatedly said, we dropped her off. Right, yeah. We took her to school. And then we know that they didn't actually drop her off at the school. Why is that? Do we know what the reason was that she wasn't dropped off at school?
Well, we don't know directly from Stephen Stearns why he did that. According to Orange County Sheriff John Mina, he speculated that maybe she wanted to be dropped off a little ways away from school. But according to her mother in the arrest affidavit, that is not normal behavior. So that is something to take note of. What I also found interesting in the arrest affidavit is that the mother refers to Stephen as Maddie's stepfather, and he is just her boyfriend. They are not married. So it was an interesting title to give someone to consider them such close family. And now he is considered a prime suspect in her 13-year-old daughter's disappearance. She has been missing since Monday. Just on Sunday, it was her 13th birthday. So you can only imagine that they were all celebrating together as a family. And less than a week later, Stephen is behind bars facing some very serious charges.
Yeah, and I think another too, in those court documents, it also says that Maddie would say oftentimes that she wanted to live in the woods. And so kind of looking at all of these things.
I bet she would have liked to live in the woods because probably to get away from him. So it turns out, so they're not married. He's not actually a stepfather. He's just her mum's boyfriend. Gosh, honestly, any of you, anyway, you can't tell people, women. He'll have come along, he'll have said all the right things, and he'll have got that woman when she's vulnerable, single parent with children. And sometimes women just don't want to see what's right in front of them. Not only women, people in general.
Maybe when she said, I wanted to be dropped off, far away, it's just very interesting, some of the connections.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amanda, we're going to keep you here just for another couple of minutes because all of this is developing and you're doing such an excellent job on this breaking reporting this morning. But we want to go back and play again your interview, or what you tried to interview, Stephen Stearns. So let's go ahead and listen to that.
Stephen, where's Maddie? Did you hurt her? Are you a pedophile? What's on your cell phone? Why aren't you talking to investigators? Where was Maddie last seen? Why aren't you helping her mother and her family? This is a little girl. Help them find Maddie. Where is Maddie? Where is she? What did you do with her? Tell us something.
Amanda, you asked every question that everybody wants to know the answers to. And obviously he didn't answer any of those questions. And it is just so intriguing to me to see what next steps are in this, right? Because here's the bottom line. He's refusing to appear in court. Not that he necessarily has to be there. Not only is he refusing to appear in court, the family right now is refusing to talk any further. And you almost have to wonder if it's your child, if it's my child, if it's your child missing, what are you going to do? You're going to be screaming, at least I know that I would, from the rooftops. I'd be talking to any and everybody who would listen about where my child is. Please help me find my child. And the fact that everybody has kind of gone radio silent, I think kind of adds another layer of mystery to this story.
It's devastating to think that a 13-year-old girl is missing for this length of time. And as we all report in this line of work, the first 24, 48 hours are crucial. So what is happening with the search? We are still asking for those questions to be answered. Are they continuing to search the woods? Investigators told the public, stay away from that area while we continue to investigate leads and look into that possibility that she could be behind Hunter's Creek in the woods. We don't know. And the fact that the family is not coming out right now, we can only imagine their state of mind. They're shocked, they're upset, they're heartbroken, they're scared, they're worried. You could name a number of different emotions that they could be feeling. And I think as the public, we want to know what they may have known and didn't see at the time. If there was concerning behavior, if there was a reason to suspect something out of the ordinary leading up to this disappearance.
Yeah, I mean,
We'd like
what
to
we
all
don't
know.
know is, Amanda, we know they're not talking to us,
Yeah.
but we don't know if they're not talking to the authorities. They could potentially still be working with the investigators, so we don't want to, say that. But do we know, Amanda? And I know we've said multiple times that what was found on the phone was so disturbing that we can't report it. But we obviously have some idea. Are you able to give us a little bit of information about what we do know that we can talk about?
I have read the arrest affidavit, and I will say that parts of it are redacted. So we are not even able to know the full scope of the investigation. It appears that they may know the identity of the victim potentially in this arrest affidavit, but they are not releasing that because it is a minor. And there's concerning evidence within that report that says that there was a sexual battery committed and that there was material of child pornography on that phone. And that is why he is facing those 2 very serious charges right now.
Wonderful job you're doing out there, Amanda. And it's so true what you said. I mean, they could be talking to investigators. They could have an attorney who may have advised them
to not speak right now.
Right? So there's so many questions still left to be answered. And certainly this is a breaking news story that we will stay on top of and bring you the very latest. Wonderful, wonderful job out there, Amanda. Just really a great job gathering all the information you can into what is a very, very trying circumstance. Thank you so much for that.
And at the center of all this.
Okay, so that's what we know so far. So very, very quickly, after Madeline went missing, the police arrested him, found the body, so I think you can say that they've done a good job, definitely done a good job there. Of course, it doesn't help, bring Maddie back to life. After, little prayer for Maddie with my candle for, not obviously she's been found now, but at least she's not out there on her own in the woodland, just discarded like a cigarette butt. This is the other thing, isn't it? It's so important that people, victims are just not left like rubbish somewhere. And this is the concern about Samantha, isn't it? Samantha Murphy, just want to find her, give her children some closure one way or another. And I expect Madeline's mum will be going through hell right now. I honestly think maybe I'm just it does remind me of the Tia Sharp case, because that was similar to what happened then. Like the step grandfather, it was him who'd done it. He'd hidden Tia Sharp in the attic of the house where they lived because there was nothing else he could do with her. Because he didn't have a car. And they lived in a council house, like all overlooked with other houses. So he put her up in the attic. And is there something wrong with our police? It took the police, I think the police searched the house 3 times before they actually found Tia in the attic. And Tia's grandmother, Stuart Hazel's not wife, but whoever she was living with, he was living with. I think that was a similar thing for her. She sort of probably suspected Stuart Hazel, but didn't want to admit it to herself. And it was only when she started smelling something in the house that she called the police back to come back out again. And then Stuart Hazel sort of did a bunk, and anyway, he was found and he was caught and he's in prison now. But that was a horrible case. Because Tia, I think she was 13 as well, maybe even younger, maybe only 11. And she loved her granddad. She loved him. You could see they had a comfortable relationship. There was CCTV of her with him. She was excited about spending the weekend over at her grandma's house, but her grandma wasn't there. Her grandma was out somewhere. So Stuart was looking after her. And Tia was looking forward to it. She trusted him implicitly. And he turned out, and I have done a video on it. And if I remember, I'll put a link in the description box. And that man that he had been out with, it's horrible because he'd been out with Tia's mother. Then he ended up going out living with Tia's grandmother. And he probably thought, he'll make it, 3, like he had an obsession with Tia. And it turned out, there was some very disturbing film and footage that they found of him. He was obsessed with Tia. So he's building up to it for a long time. And probably what happened in the end, because he was a drinker as well. So what probably happened in the end is he had too much to drink. He tried it on with Tia. She probably was absolutely could not believe that her beloved granddad was trying to do that to her, and probably fought, and then he's ended up killing her. Again, I'm sure he didn't mean to kill her, but he did, because all he wanted was to get his own way. And he's in the moment, he's just, that's all he could think about. And Tia Sharp fell victim to him and his obsession. Oh, anyway, so yes, if you're out there, if you're a single parent out there, you know, a single mother especially, and you've got daughters especially, but it can be sons as well, you know, you don't know what these people are looking for. It depends on their preferences. They go on, now it's so much easier to find people on social media, find out if people have got children. They gravitate, obviously these kind of people, they gravitate towards children. He's working at this Stefan, whatever his name is, he's working at Disney World because it takes him close to children. You know, he's picked Madeline's mother because she's got children. That's what they do. You know, and they love bomb the mothers, and the mothers are vulnerable, perhaps financially vulnerable, emotionally vulnerable, because unless you've ever been a single parent, you don't know what it's like. You can feel a crushing loneliness because you don't fit into, like, you know, a lot of your friends maybe are in couples and you don't fit into that sort of environment, if you like, going out with couples, etc. And then a lot of your single friends, they maybe don't have children. So that's, you know, there's a sort of a vacuum, if you like, that you're in. So you can get very lonely because, and also, you know, obviously you've got to stay in looking after your children. It's not easy to get babysit. You've got to pay for a babysitter. You might not, you're probably financially stretched if you're a single parent. So there's all these things. So, you know, single parents are vulnerable. They are vulnerable, and I hope that mother now is just singing like a canary, talking about this guy now that he's away from her and she can feel safe to do so. I certainly hope so. I hope that she didn't, you know, actually have anything to do with it. I think he's probably asked her to cover up for him. He's probably said to her, oh, look, you know, I've got this offence against me. They're bound to think it's me. Can't you just say that we both dropped her off? And he's probably bullied her into saying it. And she probably in the beginning didn't want to believe that he had been involved. And I think in that interview, it looked like she was sort of like thinking, well, was he involved? Was he involved? But now she'll be free to talk. So Jackie, I had a cat called Tia, and now the German Shepherd is called Tia. So, yeah. Hi, Pamela. Yes, you did. You'll have to go back to the beginning. We started off talking about Samantha, but that was how long ago? So it's nearly 2.5 hours ago. You know, so... So, Alana, going back to your question, there was no smell in the house. Not for a while there wasn't, because he wrapped her up. Poor little Tia had wrapped her up, you know, quite extensively. And but eventually a smell did come. And that's why the grandma eventually phoned the police and said, look, there's a smell in this house. So the police went back up into the attic that they'd already searched twice and found Tia. I don't know if the third time they took a dog, maybe the other times they didn't take a dog up there with them. I don't know, you know, I don't know the actual ins and outs of the searches, but all I know is they searched 3 times. I think it was the third time before they actually found her. Hi, Nick. You're on the move but listening. Yeah, it's quite a long, ended up being quite a long live. So, okay, so I noticed while I was on here, I have just ticked over 3,000 subscribers. So thank you so much. I'm sure that'll sort of go a little bit up and down. It normally does. But at least that's the first time that I've actually hit that number. So thank you so much for all of you that are subscribed. Thank you for watching. What's the saying? Don't forget to put your fingerprint on the like button on the way out if you did not put it on the like button on the way in. I'll be back tonight. I'm going out for a nice walk now in the sun. Count my blessings with my little dogs and go out and have a nice walk. I'm looking forward to getting some sun on my face. So I feel like I'm really white at the moment. Thank you to those that are congratulating me. No, thank you, because the only reason that's happened is because of my subscribers, etc. Thank you so much. So as I say, so I'm on tonight. I've got something that I want to show you to do with Nicola Bulley and Andrew Snowden. Just that I might find, I think you might find interesting. He's Andrew Snowden. Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about him. He's sort of, I'm sort of smiling as I'm saying it now, because he's just like, he's totally oblivious to the effect he has on people. But anyway, we're going to talk about him, Andrew Snowden, and have another chat tonight. And also, I'm not sure what time exactly yet, but there may be some news comes in at, every day, every moment. We're waiting for news about Samantha, aren't we? So remember to live and love wisely and carefully, and especially if you are a single parent out there. And I know, because I was a single parent, I know how difficult it is. It's really difficult. People don't understand how difficult it is unless they've been there. And it is difficult, but just be careful. You've got to be so careful of men that you bring into your, especially that you bring into your household. You don't keep them at arm's length. When you've got children, you've just got to be so careful. And till I see you all again, may your God always go with you. Bye bye. Thank you, Mello. Thank you, everyone. Bye.